is the story that cried wolf, and it affects others. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if y'all knew, but soon as that story ended, while that story was going on, there was some real stories going on in Boston, Massachusetts, where it was this black lady that was abducted for real, and was
Mm.
for real about like dealing with with human trafficking.
Mm.
But because of the Carlee Russell story that just took place, a lot of people brushed it under the rug and didn't think twice of it because people were thinking, "Oh, that's just probably another fake one," which that was a real one. And
Mm.
I hate to say it, but while this Carlee Russell story was going on, there was stuff going on. That's a whole nother story. I'm gonna touch the subject and then leave it alone. But while that was happening as a nation, there was some things happening, you know, in Washington. They're like, okay, this is a good distraction for us to pass certain bills and get some stuff across. But you know, you just have to do your research and so because that's not the top of the night. But I just want y'all to know when there is a massive national awareness or something, there's always something going on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Even with the millionaires and stuff, and with that with water and what happened with the capsule when they was dropped into the water and stuff. There was some stuff that was going on with that too. But yeah, man, it's just sad, man, about that. Like I was just sitting there, just like, man, what? It's the world we live in. It's just sad that you
Mm-hmm.
know, if you really dive into it, like as for 49 hours, a little bit more than 2 days, people were going out their way, volunteers, people, volunteers that could have been spending time with their family, could have been doing
Mm-hmm.
something else, trying to find ways to make more money. Um, Law enforcement that could have been handling other business, so serious business, serious like crimes. They stopped that to aid the search for a lady who was never lost.
Mm-hmm.
And the story didn't add up. Come on, y'all. You mean to tell me that she was down? She said she got abducted, and then somehow she found her way walking on foot to home 2 days later, like home now. And she abducted. So you must know what. So come on. So if you abducted, sometimes you really don't know exactly where you are,
Exactly.
especially if your phone was quote unquote left there.
Mm-hmm. How do you
I
know the
mean,
way home if you're abducted?
how you know the way home?
Because,
You
like you
must.
said, if you're abducted, you don't know the way home. You don't know exactly where you are. And if you say you're blindfolded, then how are you able to see all of this?
Right. If you like, how you know where you going? How you know home is home when you
Mm-hmm.
were blindfolded? Next thing you know, you come out at the house, and then the family involved. I hate to say it, Lord have mercy, but for when it went down, I'm like, I hope nobody was doing this for money because you know they put up not ransom, but a reward for I think it's like I said, for like $25,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like somebody like if they playing like somebody report them and quote unquote find them, then they get the money or whatever, and then
Mm-hmm.
they do whatever with the money. I'm like, man, come on, man. I hope not. But then again, you see what the story was, and then just the
Exactly.
fact that you're a whole nursing student. And you know, sometimes I can be silly. I'm like, what you doing trying to pay off the
Q.
rest of your student loans?
Mm-hmm.
What you trying to do? Pay off the rest of your student loans or something with that? That was just the Carlee Russell story was like, whoa. that's crazy. Because I mean, you got people who were kidnapped for real,
Exactly.
who have lost their life for real. Like when I was touching on bases with
What's up, Q?
what's up, Q? Touching bases on what's Shanquilla Robinson that early in the year that she went on a trip. She went on a trip to Mexico, somewhere in Mexico. My wife was telling me I was doing some research that she had went on a research trip to Mexico with quote unquote friends, and then she had talked to her mom when she got there, and the craziest thing is she just loved people, and it seems like the friends wasn't her friends. They was out to get her. Um, they was out to get her, and the one of the friends was a gentleman. He was like, "You ain't gonna fight back. You ain't gonna fight back." And friends don't watch you getting beat up and like beat up by people who you paid their way to come with to the
Exactly.
to the trip. That that was crazy. And then she lost her life. And you got real stuff going on, and it was a whole issue because since it was done in Mexico, like government authorities wasn't releasing a lot of the information or the video of what happened, which is kind of messed up. But that's a whole different country. You really can't. It's a part of North America, but it's still a whole different country, whole different way of government. So you really, what can you say? But okay, let me see. So that's what it was. Oh yeah, and back to the Carlee Russell. I remember that. Let me see. It says on the some wife giving me she said it's the word on the street said she did it. So Carlee Russell did all this to get attention from her boyfriend.
Wow. Anything just to get some attention, man.
Just some attention? You better read a book, do something.
Find you a new man.
And get your new fella.
But I'm glad you brought that up to him because the same thing with Shanquilla Robinson. After that, I don't know if you remember, but you remember in Mexico, same kind of thing. This group of people that were going for a BBL experiment, they went missing. Like for example, I have an article right here. I'm gonna read real quick if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is by TheGuardian.com. It says how a trip to Mexico for cosmetic surgery turned deadly for U.S. quarter. Death of 204 Americans kidnapped in Matamoros placed spotlight on cartels' impunity and on medical tourism. It says Latavia Washington McGee has scheduled an abdominal operation that many mothers have, and she chose to have the operation done in Mexico where medical costs are cheaper and where she had previously gone for cosmetic procedures. A cousin and a couple of friends joined her to share the 1,400-mile drive from her hometown of Lake City, South Carolina to Matamoros, Tamaulipas, just south of the U.S.-Mexico frontier. They arrived in the border city on March 3rd, but never made it to the clinic. Members of a violent drug cartel that controlled the area mistook the group of Americans as rabble traffickers, killed two of them, and kidnapped McGee and one of her friends. McGee and Eric Williams were rescued within days, and the bodies of cousin Shaid Woodard and friend Zendel Brown were later repatriated. On Thursday, 5 men who allegedly carried out the attack were dumped on the Matamoros street, along with a surreal letter of apology purportedly from the Gulf Cartel. We ask the public to be calm and let us say it in Spanish. We are committed that the mistakes caused by indiscipline won't be repeated and that those responsible pay no matter what they are. This episode prompted calls from prominent conservative American politicians, legislation to allow the U.S. military to intervene in Mexico. To the traffickers offer and arm themselves with guns bought in the U.S. It had many Mexican puzzles at which this particular case was apparently resolved so quickly in a country where more than 100,000 people are missing and most crimes go unpunished. Now, mind you, with this going on right here, This right here in this particular town in Mexico where it says Matamoros, what a lot of people don't realize, see, this is why you have to understand the language. And you have to understand exactly where you're going. The first red flag is, why are you going to a foreign country to go and get work done? I understand you're trying to get money and stuff like that, but you have to research these doctors effectively to understand the procedure over there. And the second red flag, you're going inside a country without protection. You're going into a country where it's low income, and then they're mistaking you. See, they didn't say the full thing on it, but I remember reading a report. They mistake them for Haitian rival drug lords. They thought they were Haitian. And see, they mistake them for that, and that's how they got killed. And then when they made the mistake and the rival cartel figured out what it was, that's when he killed his people and then dumped their bodies and sent that letter as an apology to the family. But the damage was already done there.
Right.
And mind you, if you look up the term where it says Matamoros, the actual name of it, it translates to kill blacks. So if you understood the language up there, the light bulb should click inside your head to say, maybe I shouldn't go inside this particular city or town because something bad is going to happen. But this is why it's important for us to understand language.
That's why it's important for you to study before you go abroad. Or before you go out of the country, you need to study that. What's what? Where am I going? Learn the laws so you don't get caught up, because so you can't go over to a different country and think the laws are the same like it was in the United States. It's not. There are some places that are very strict in some stuff. And some that they don't. Let's be real. Some of them don't like certain people. And if you go in the same, and if you find yourself, are we going on a trip? We're going to have fun. You better do your research, because you don't want your fun to be one and done.
Real exactly. And the sad part is that when you go to these foreign countries, they have so much hatred of black people that they'll find ways and policies to try to not only try to keep you in a certain area, but even kill you off here. This is a prime example. We understand the racist history that Mexico has because of the white supremacy that spread over when Mexico was conquered. But if you look at Mexico, when you go into the different statues, what do you see on there? Blackface, like the Olmecs, the Aztecs from South America, all that's connected to it. But this is like what Twan said, research where you're going first. Don't just assume automatically, everything is going to be good, and they're converted over to the U.S. politics. When you go to another country, the policies are different. Like what Twan said with the Shanquella Robinson thing, when they won't release a video going on about with that goes to show you right there. Like prime example was, I just watched a movie back there. I don't know if you've seen it, Twan. I forget the name of the movie, but I watched it recently over my auntie's house on Netflix. But it's a movie with Nia Long in it, and what happens is she's dating this Asian guy, right? I
heard about it.
You know the name of it? I can't remember the name.
I can't. Oh gosh, let me see. Because I know, because they were like, "Where's my mom?" or something.
Right.
The girl was looking for a mom, and it was in Mexico. Let me see. Let's see. Let's search for it real quick. Missing,
that's it. But yeah, in that movie, pretty much, if you watch that movie the whole time, so the mom decides, like Twan says, that they're going on a trip, I guess to Mexico, Italy, or wherever.
Every morning
they go basically on a trip there, and then she goes with the Asian boy. Now, mind you, she doesn't fully know this Asian boy. This is why you have to be careful also when you're going on these dating apps, because these are some of the biggest targets. Like, for example, there was a popular dating app, I forget the name of it, but it was one of the biggest targets for men to be abducted by the women on there, and some of them end up being killed and other stuff as well. But basically, just a brief rundown of the movie real quick. It basically, inside there, like Twan says, the mom goes off to the airport and everything. The daughter is supposed to pick up Nia Long, the mom inside the movie, but she never shows up. So the daughter starts panicking. She starts running low on money, and she's like, where's my mom? Where's my mom? So she files a complaint to the police department. The police department is like, hey, there's not really too much we can do, because it says right here inside the flight law that your mother arrived at the airport, but they never showed any anything on it. So she tries to get footage from the different companies and stuff, and it's not showing anything. I'm sorry, for the police department over there. And then after she does that, she goes a step forward to, I think she went to the FBI or the CIA or whatever, trying to steps from there. And
Let me see.
She lied.
I'll see if I can pull it up. Let me see. Hold on. Let's see.
Okay.
Let me see. Here we go.